Oh shit! The elf just took over the set. Shit's about to get live. Let's go!
So John, what's up, bro? Nice to meet another Asian American activist. That's actually quite rare. So I'm going to ask. I actually have something I call the online activist interview series,
right?
Where I ask other activists what's going on. So first of all, I'm going to ask you, what got you involved in activism in the first place?
I got involved because I grew up in. Actually, I grew up in Sydney, Australia, and then my family moved to New York City. And while we were able to obtain a lot of opportunities, we also faced a lot of racism and discrimination. And, for example...
That's in Australia?
In both here, Australia and the United States, both white settler colonized places. And, I remember, for example, when I had just graduated and went up to college, and my parents were driving me, they got lost. And we actually asked someone riding a bicycle, hey, how do we get to Binghamton University? And he turned around and told me and my parents, I'm sorry, I don't talk to Orientals. And it's those kind of experiences growing up that really made me angry at first. But then once I educated myself and learned about our connections with the third world liberation struggles, the struggles of African Americans, Latinos, indigenous people in this country, I got much more involved in helping people run for office, much more involved in trying to change and shift the power balance in my community in Flushing and also in New York City in general. In 1996, for example, the incumbent councilwoman, Julia Harrison, told the New York Times that the Asian immigrants moving into her district are robbers and thieves, and that they were coming to conquer and invade Flushing. And like many people, I was very upset with that. And instead of just organizing rallies and protests, I joined up with people I went to school with, including John Liu, to actually start running people for elected office.
Oh, you were John Liu's classmate?
We studied together at Binghamton. He graduated earlier than I did, but when after graduation, I met up with him in Flushing, and he asked me to volunteer in his campaign. I was very enthusiastic. I felt like we had to change the political system. And through that struggle against Julia Harrison, John Liu became the first Asian American elected official in New York.
Yeah, actually, he's a pioneer. But he was here today on the other side of things. What happened? He was here speaking on Julia Wong's behalf.
Yeah, like I told a lot of my friends who I saw on the other side, sometimes we make mistakes, and we're not all perfect. We don't always make the decisions for the right reasons. I'm here because I feel like what these local residents and teachers and union members are saying about Julie Wong is from the heart, and what they're saying is, true to how their experience is. And so I feel like the right thing to do is to stand with the people rather than the people who have the power and the money.
That makes sense, yeah. How do you feel about John Liu now, though? Just wondering, since he's such a prominent figure in our
I really worked with John Liu when he was a city council member. I actually was his chief, I was his legislative director and then chief of staff.
Okay.
So we got a lot of stuff done, including the first language access law in New York City. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to continue working with him, so I really don't follow as much his policies and his political action.
I understand. That's okay. Hey, I want to also, just so you know, in this series, I ask all the activists the same questions about the John Liu, but other general ones. So one thing that I do to differentiate different activists from each other is, out of all the stuff that you've done, you have how long you've been an activist? A long time, right?
I would say since college, since I first became a freshman at Binghamton in 1989.
And now you're executive director for which organization?
I run the Greater Flushing Chamber of Commerce. I'm also president of the Flushing Interfaith Council, and I'm on several boards of local civic organizations.
So out of all the things that you've accomplished, right? I know those are just titles, but is there something that you're particularly proud of accomplishing during your activist career? Or maybe from a couple things, right? But what do you think you most achieved? What do you think is the best moments? Yeah.
I would say that for me, going back to my college start as an activist, I still meet people on the streets who come up to me and say, "Hey, John, I really appreciate what you did back in college, just standing up and speaking truth to power. And you don't know what you do today will actually have a difference for people and their lives years from now." And so
wait, when you stood up to people in college, well, like I'm asking more about like accomplishments. So you're standing. Did that actually cause some change to happen?
Yeah. So one of the things I'm very proud of is organizing for Asian American Studies at Binghamton. There was a lot of resistance. We organized.
Was that in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have been around. Oh my goodness.
Did you go to Binghamton?
Do you know, my man, I had other people that was there. I was in a student government. Do you know Nelson Marr?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, so it's really good.
Nelson and I are classmates.
What? Oh, so what's really, okay, so it's a small world. That's cool. That's my homie. Anyways, yes.
So through that
okay.
organizing, we were able to get the administration at Binghamton to start a small program with the East Asian Studies program, combining it with Asian American Studies, and now it's a full department. It's
and still there to this day in its department. Yo, that's wonderful.
It's huge at Binghamton, and they make they talk about it as their accomplishment, but it was the students who forced them to do the right thing.
That is dope, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say another accomplishment that's more recent. Working with the small business community to advocate for more resources for Flushing. We were able to, through our advocacy over many years, secure $1.5 million to support small businesses and make sure that they have the marketing resources, the websites, the social media accounts to get them more businesses. I think it's crucial. A lot of them survived the pandemic because we were able to help them. I would say lastly that we have a busway in Flushing, and I know that seems like a small thing, but that busway is in the middle of one of the major transportation hubs in New York City, and it allows people who are essential workers, teachers, nurses, restaurant workers, supermarket, grocery clerks, to get to work on time, to feed their families, to pay the rent.
So it's like some kind of express lane or something?
It's basically a bus-only lane.
Okay.
And so I'm very proud that we were able to not only help these essential workers, but also that lane has decreased in half the number of people hit by cars, killed or injured. And to me, saving lives is the basic element of community organizing and government. If we can't even save people's lives, like I said earlier, if we see people, senior citizens, passing away on our city streets, that's a failure, not only on the people who are supposed to help them, but our government, our whole society. It's an indictment on the United States that we have senior citizens dying on our city streets.
Okay, there's different people who are in this movement, like, some people are socialists, some people are other things. Do you have a certain ideology that drives your activism?
I would say that my primary ideology is around social and economic justice. One of the people that has really inspired me is Grace Lee Boggs. I don't know if you've had a chance to meet with her.
Okay.
I've read, her biography is an amazing.
I'm not get to meet her, but I will put her on my list.
Oh yeah, Grace Lee Boggs. You need to read her biography. She basically encapsulates for me and for many people, why Asian Americans need to step up and get involved, not just on our own issues, but to be in solidarity with African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans, other people who are oppressed, because we're part of that class. We're not part of the white supremacist hierarchy, like some people would like to think.
Yeah, that's damn true.
So to me, that's one of the her philosophy encapsulates in her biography. It's really one of the things that really drives me to continue to help people and get involved.
Okay, that's cool. Now the thing is that now I'm going to cover a little bit more of the organizational stuff for other activists who are watching. What do you think are the most effective things that activists can do?
I think the most important thing, the basic thing that activists need to do is listen to people, to really hear what are people's needs, not to come into situations with preconceived agendas and solutions, but really to be part of a community. You have to build relationships, you have to be very grounded in your activism, and to really understand that your role is to facilitate change. It's not to be at the forefront and to take the credit, but really to give people the resources and the support they need to voice their needs and to shape our society. That's really, I think, the role of an organizer. In fact, I think one of the goals of organizing is to become redundant. Eventually, the organizer doesn't have to be there because the people can organize themselves.
They achieve the social change. That makes sense, yeah? Now, the thing is that there may be people who join different organizations looking for help with their issues, and sometimes they feel like the organization isn't really serving their interests, and they end up becoming, disenfranchised. They feel like, their concerns get diverted towards whatever the leader of the organization is doing. What are the best practices for organizations to make sure that individuals' issues are also addressed?
It's important as someone who's founded a lot of organizations that at some point you have to develop a leadership transition plan to make sure that we're constantly developing young people in our community, in our organizations, to take on leadership roles and eventually take over these organizations, because I think too often organizations become cults of individual leaders.
Yeah, and they only develop the shills.
And I think that's been a huge challenge and limitation for social justice movements in the United States. We get caught up on supporting individuals rather than the organization or the community.
That's right. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. So, hey, look, we're getting towards the end, but since your time of when you first became an activist, this is really to help other people that are just learning to become activists, right? There's no manual out there. They don't teach us this in school. Maybe your perspective has changed over the years, or maybe you learned something that, if you could go back and tell yourself when you first started out, or someone who's kind of starting out as an activist, what would be your message to them?
I would say, as someone who's made a lot of mistakes, because I've been in activism for a long time, that sometimes you have to be more reflective and to acknowledge those mistakes and to find ways to overcome and become a better organizer. And I think that's something that you can't learn in class. It's not something you can read in a book. It's something that you have to learn by doing through experience. And I think one of the things about organizing, like any career or profession, is that the longer you do it, the better you get. It's the same for teachers, it's the same for social workers, it's the same for elected officials. So I think I just would encourage people who are interested in helping the communities and organizing.
Just don't quit.
Don't quit.
Yeah.
It's going to be very tough, especially in the beginning years. But once you get into it, it's very meaningful. It's something that really puts meaning into my life. And I'm at the point in my career where I'm kind of like, trying to transition and give younger people opportunities, which is one of the reasons why I'm here today, because I feel like we need to support younger people running for office. I'm supporting Haley Kim, who I think is an amazing organizer.
Why isn't she here today then?
This is not her rally.
Okay.
This is a rally to hold truly one incumbent accountable.
Accountable, okay.
And it's not related in any way to Haley's campaign.
I feel you. Okay, that's cool. Okay, good to know. Okay.
Are you supporting
Give me a second.
Haley?
He is.
You're supporting Haley?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I like your
That's
shirt.
all right, yeah.
Thank you.
So just gonna finish up with the that's pretty much the any final this is the last thing. Yeah. So the thing is that a lot of people I agree with your words, a lot of people get caught up in celebrities or some organization, but in the end, how can people follow your work, right? A lot of people outlast the organizations they're working with.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can follow me on Instagram. Like I said, I'm transitioning from politics to traveling the world and really exploring and learning about other people's culture. I feel like too many Americans stay in their own neighborhood and they don't go out and see what other people are doing. And so I really want to connect with people around the world, their cultures, their food, their music, and to really become a world citizen.
Hey, live it up, man. I want you to live your life 100%, man.
Thank you so
I want
much.
you to enjoy your life. Yeah, God bless me, brother.
All right.
And we'll be in contact again, hopefully. Yeah, one love. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
Truth of these
We are
words
on all
is
the major
beyond doubt.
platforms. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute and Dailymotion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get out with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos, make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.